Okay, I'm yanking your chain. Welcome to Life in the Moose. Welcome back if you've been here before. Let's build some custom cabinets and put them in this cabin. We're in the Spur Cabin, in case you didn't know. I think it was the last episode I told you I was planning on putting one long cabinet along that whole wall back here. Changed my mind. We're actually going to put two cabinets, one on each side of the window. The countertop will be as high as the windowsill here. And it'll start about on the outside of this trim on both sides and go all the way to the corner. Not very deep, maybe 14 inches, somewhere in there. And then the other cabinet we have to build is going to be the power station cabinet. This is going to be the main junction, if you will. This is where the male end of the extension cord that's wrapped around this cabin inside the walls. So the male end will come out of this box and plug into the power station. So I'm probably going to have this top of the power station sit right about there. So it's not going to be very tall. It's only going to stick out about 11.5 inches. And we made one more decision that's slightly different than what I let you know last time. I think I mentioned we were going to build these cabinets out of, in part, the pine that I cut up and milled, and in part, the old house that was sitting down below. Well, we're still going to incorporate the old house, boards from the old house. But what we're going to do instead of the pine that I milled up, we're actually going to use some spruce that I milled up. I think it's spruce anyway. The tree was down. It was just a wet log when I saw it for the very first time. I never did see the tree alive. It was actually taken from the coast in western Washington. It's a very light wood. It's a very almost white wood. So the old house boards, they're going to be kind of dark like this right here. And again, the spruce will be light. So I think it's going to look pretty good. As I mentioned, the mill is actually my friend Caleb's. So I milled it up at his place. I think I still have video for that. You people crack me up. I love your comments about whether or not to paint that wall. I love the passion. So we've decided that we're going to... Oh, thought I just heard a deer back there. So yeah, we came to a decision on that wall. I'll let you know eventually. Oh, one more thing. This door trim here, I've received so many compliments on how nice it looks right now. So we've decided we're just going to keep it like this. What? You don't like it? Okay, I'm yanking your chain. We're going to paint it. Well, let's head back to Red Moose Ranch and I'll show you that spruce we're going to use for those cabinets. Man, what a day. We have guests. We'll make this quick and get out of here. We're in the woodshed right now, and I'm gonna go pick out some of these old boards from the old house. These dark boards you see, that's what I put on the face of that loft. So I'm gonna pick out some of these that we can use for the doors on our new cabinets. So I'm gonna grab these real quick and we'll get out of here before we bother Mama too much. I'm going to use these old 2x4s. Probably going to rip these in half, and this will be the framing for our cabinets. Okay, we're back in the barn. This is the spruce I was telling you about. Nice wood, nice looking wood, fairly straight grained, very white as you see, which is good because we want it contrasting with the material we're going to use for the doors. Old and dark. This is the stuff, if you remember, I was telling you about. I found planks that were 20 inches wide, and that's an old tree going into a house. The house was built in 1911 as far as we can determine. So imagine how old that tree was when that was planted. Long time ago. About 1x6s roughly. So this is what I'm going to use for the face of the cabinets. These boards are going to be vertical along the face. Same with the doors. Those planks are going to be vertical as well. So first order of business is cutting some of this longer stuff to length or very close to it. And then sanding it smooth, scoring it off in the table saw. I know you have never seen it before, but stay tuned and you'll actually get to witness me sanding. And what does that make? 3 episodes in a row where I sanded something? My goodness, you're on a roll. Well, let's work up these boards, straighten them out, sand them up a bit, and get them ready for the cabinets. What do you say? Hey, all right. does that look like a couple cabinets to you? Okay, so I have my framing. That's that Doug fir from the old house I showed you. Real tight grained, real exceptionally straight, unbelievably straight. I was shocked at the 2x4s, which were more like real 2x4s, coming out of this house. Straight as an arrow. I was shocked. So this is all my framing stuff. This is my horizontal members, vertical members. This is how deep it's gonna be. My faces right here. My end panels right here. Material for my doors right here. I'm gonna put a coat of oil on it just so it doesn't flake off. But I'm gonna leave it rough and textured just like that is. But I am gonna take a few minutes and sand this down. And finally, I have a few parts here for that power station cabinet I'm gonna build. I'm out of this old wood, so I'm gonna primarily make that power station cabinet out of the pine I milled a couple weeks ago. So let's sand this up real quickly. I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing, so put that remote control back. You'll be fine. So I'm gonna sand this up, we'll load it up in the truck, and we'll start building a cabinet. Isn't this fun? So I'm going to start with building a simple box. You see the layout of the cabinet right there. So I'm going to start from that, work my way up with the frame, and then I have to build my doors yet too. And then we'll face it and see what happens. I hope I have enough material. I don't have anything written down. I think I have enough material. It's all up in here, but you know, up in here becomes less reliable all the time. So I'm no expert at building cabinets, and this is not fine cabinetry by any stretch of the imagination. But this is a cabin in the middle of nowhere, and I think everything will be just fine. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm laying out my door now. So I need 20 inches. 20 inches wide for the door. This will be the bottom. This will overhang the cleats. I don't know what you call those. The cleats. It's what holds everything together in the back of the door. So that's going to be about a 1/2 inch overhang, give or take. Doesn't really matter a whole bunch. I'm going to tack these down. Again, I'm just using drywall screws. It'll be fine. So I have a plethora of these boards of various widths. So let's see if I can lay these across so I don't have to rip any. That'd be nice. So kind of trial and error at this point. Just a little bit, 20 1/8. Boy, that's close. $20, exactly. Okay, these are the boards I want. These boards are not all the same thickness, and that's okay. Just add some variety. So I'm good with it. Are you good with it? Okay, let's screw them down. I think what I'm going to do is put one screw down here in each one, just to hold everything in place. And then I'll have to tweak it to make sure it's square, or at least fits the hole that's in there. Okay, let's go dry fit it, see if it works. Right. Well, remember when I told you it was all up here? Yeah, it's not all up here apparently, because there's one thing I forgot. Yes, a handle. But look at this. Functioning door. Check it out. That's uptown, huh? What do you think of this contrast? I like it. Was that your stomach growling? No, it was mine. Holy cow, it's 10 to 1. I'm late for lunch. Let's go have some lunch. Venison taco. I feel better. That was delicious. I don't know about you, but I really like wild game. Of course, I am very picky, and I do everything myself. Harvest the animal, butcher the animal, I grind my own sausage, make my own recipes. So from the forest to the plate that you just saw, no one else touches my wild game other than me. But I like it. Good stuff. You probably know what I'm going to do for handles. If you've seen the Ridge Cabin videos, especially the one where I make the cabinet up there, you probably will know what I'm going to do for the handles. Okay, let's build another cabinet. Okay, 2 cabinets in the book. Check it out. Oh, I put a shelf in this one. I had leftover flooring. I originally had a couple of rows of smaller, thinner boards. Ended up not using them on the floor. So I just made a simple shelf. I just put a cleat over there on the wall. So I'm going to do the same with this one. And then I'm going to get going on the power station cabinet. And that's going to sit right there in the corner. So shelf and power station cabinet, and then I think we're good to go. Well, let's get to work. power station cabinet is finished. Still have to put the knob on the door, of course, as with the other two cabinets. So next time we'll put those knobs on, and we'll put countertops on. We'll do live edge. It seems like I remember having some live edge stuff we could use from the milling episode. So I'll double check that in the barn, in the woodshed, and see what we have. Oh, I mentioned I was going to let you know what we decided on that wall, whether to paint it or not. When we started this cabin, before anything was built, we had in mind that we were going to paint that wall, accent wall, because everything else was going to be wood by design. So we thought, yeah, let's go ahead and paint it. But once we got all the wood on the walls, we decided not to paint it, at least for now. You can't take away paint. You can always paint it later if you want. So we are going to do nothing. We're not going to oil it, and we're not going to stain it. We're not going to paint it. In the future, if we decide to, you know, we can always do that. But right now, we're going to leave it au naturel. Well, that's it. Got a lot accomplished. Well, thanks again. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next week.